All right, everyone. Welcome back. It is the 9th episode of the Puddle of Grunge podcast. Can't believe it. Can't believe it. Colby, can you believe it?
No, I didn't think we'd make it through one.
Neither did I. We're at each other's throats constantly.
A lot of creative control.
Anyways, let's get right into it. Colby, what are we doing today?
He keeps throwing me on the spot for these guys. It's a bit unmanageable. I don't know. No, we are doing we're just going to be talking about some of our favorite rhythm sections of the 90s, pretty much of all genres, but we have a short list that we have here, and we're just going to kind of elaborate on them and just talk about why we like them so much. And there's a little bit of maybe some metal mixed in there, some
more alternative,
some grunge.
Yeah, obviously, of course.
As it is the name.
Of course. Yeah. You just want to start out? Should we start out with our favorite first so we can kind of go into them a lot more so we have more time?
Sure.
Colby, who is the first on our list for best rhythm sections that we feel had sets himself apart? I feel like not like on a scale against other players, you can't really compare like that, but yeah, you can't really compare like that, but these would be some of our favorites just because they're so dynamic. So Colby, who we doing?
So our first pick, Robert DeLeo and Eric Kratz from Stone Temple Pilots.
Hell yeah. So we talked a lot about Dean and Rob, but we haven't really talked about Eric in that mix. And whew, let me tell you, adding him in there just adds a completely different thing to the band, bro.
He is slamming every single track.
Yeah, a lot of his drum parts that he comes up with follow Rob so well. They go along with what Rob's playing on bass so well. And they just fit. Both of them fit so nicely into that pocket. They're so tight.
Mm-hmm.
So tight.
Yeah, the one that comes to my mind is the intro to Vaseline, where Eric's kind of only doing that kind of off-time snare hits.
Yeah.
And then Rob is just doing the continuous hammer-on that he does for the riff there.
All of Vaseline is crazy on drums. Like if you
it's all snare.
If you listen to the isolated track, he's hitting a ton of ghost notes in there and just throwing in so many random things that you barely even hear on the actual track itself. But I feel like without it, it wouldn't be the same song. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
And then, you got to talk on Rob a little bit. Just absolute creative genius behind the bass.
And behind the guitar, whatever instrument he decides to pick up.
True.
But, yeah, Rob is such a creative force inside of STP, and his bass playing has just definitely been an inspiration to me. It's just, he's so melodic, and he's practically a virtuoso on it.
Yeah, oh yeah.
And he's got a ton of, he uses arpeggios a lot to go into notes. Like he does an arpeggio into the root of E in Interstate. So many great melodic moves just in every single one. But he loves doing stuff with arpeggios and just perfectly knows how to write a bass part into a song. He definitely doesn't overplay.
Yeah, he knows how to find great balance with his playing. Never not overplaying ever. You look at something on Trippin', where there definitely could be moments of overplaying there if you wanted to. But I feel like he fits it in so perfectly to what Dean's playing over that. Just it works so well through and through. And even throughout their entire discography, even on Plush, there's just his bass for some reason just sticks out so well on that song, especially in the parts where he's going a little higher.
Which one?
On Plush.
Oh yes, yeah.
Yeah, you know what? His tone on that is so punchy. Just cuts right through the mix. It's so awesome.
That's an Ampeg pushing mids,
Mm-hmm.
is what that is, and that's one of my favorite bass sounds is an Ampeg pushing mids. But yeah, Plush he he does some arpeggiated stuff in that one too. But especially through the what would that be? The Where You Going For Tomorrow? What would that be of Plush? That would be like the
Pre-chorus.
Yeah, it kind of is because it does go from that one into
the chorus.
Where the Dogs Will Find Her part.
Yeah.
So I think that is the pre-chorus, but it's only 2 chords, but he's mixing multiple notes.
Oh yeah.
From I think probably different scales, not in like those. It doesn't match with the chord.
Yeah, because
then he relieves it at the end.
Because like when we play it, I'm sitting there strumming 2 chords, and you're like doing a ton of different stuff, and then even throughout that whole song, it's just I feel like it's just Rob's moment to shine.
He's just constant movement.
Yeah, constant movement. It's so melodic in the way that he moves around. Perfectly, just everything is perfectly added together, into the mix, just phenomenally.
Yeah, there are so many highlight tracks for him. Trippin' is definitely one.
Lady Picture Show.
Tons of movement. Yeah, there are a lot of great playing on Lady Picture Show.
The way that he just lets his bass drone out on Lady Picture Show and just kind of hold those notes.
The part underneath the solo is really great.
Mm-hmm.
He's doing like what's the droning on the A string, and then doing kind of like some hammer-on stuff. It's great to hear just by itself even. But then you got that great guitar solo over top of it.
Mm-hmm. Litter's so great.
But Eric's strengths
dude, his fills that he comes up with and his grooves that he goes into, the groove on Down that he goes into is so sick with those toms. Sounds so huge. At the same time that Dean is playing that riff that also sounds massive, just elevates the sound so well. And then you got, the just absolutely iconic fill for Big Empty into the chorus. It's relatively simple, I feel like, but it just is so effective in the way that he hits his snare and his toms. I think he uses a rototom kit now, if I'm not mistaken.
He does.
Or at least has his 2 rack toms as rototoms. But yeah, just his fills that he's able to come up with. I mean, Dead and Bloated as well is just one of the best opening tracks ever.
And that one is definitely simple, just like a good, like I think that's just a floor tom and a snare.
Yeah.
But another one that comes to mind is Into the Solo of Army Ants.
Oh yeah, that one's.
That he does like a little flurry. Bam, bam, dun, 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 dun. He goes back around again.
Yeah, and he the way that I know there's just a ton of Zeppelin influence just from the way that his left hand works. He's so light on his left hand and plays so many intricate details with his left, just like John Bonham would. It's just, man, Eric Kretz is a monster.
Eric is all about the ghost
finesse,
notes.
the finesse.
And I would agree. Finesse. He's just got such a sleek style.
Yeah.
That's why I always push on Eric just because he's of course he's teamed up with Rob.
Mm-hmm.
Just one of the most rock solid rhythm sections of the 90s.
Yeah.
And probably of all time for me, but of course there's
probably one of the most musically gifted for sure. I just because Rob is such a virtuoso almost at every instrument that he can pick up. And then Eric has his own solo stuff, doesn't he?
I'm not actually sure.
I think he has some stuff with another band. I'll have to look into that. But
talk show.
Yeah, I think is that what it is?
And that's what when STP was with Dave Coots.
Oh, okay. But yeah, Eric's stuff is just phenomenal. A lot of the grooves that he's able to go into just really kind of blow my mind sometimes.
And make the track.
They do make the track. He's a driving force. Like, and that's one of the reasons we wanted to choose rhythm sections is because they're the foundation for the song, the foundation for the music starts with the rhythm section. It's what gets you stomping your feet, bobbing your head. So, yeah, the rhythm section is probably the most important section. So, yeah. Anything else you want to add for Rob and Eric of Stone Temple Pilots?
I was going to put one more thing in there about Eric. One of my favorite, just drum tracks in general that Eric did was on Loungefly. He does a lot of great tom work.
Yeah. That fill on that one is sick too. When it starts doing like the droning more when he's doing I can't do it like that. But yeah. Man, Eric is is very creative in the way that he plays drums, I feel like. Uses the kit in all aspects for sure.
Yeah, that's why these two are just a personal favorite of mine. I think they stand pretty strong. Maybe not in like technical prowess,
Yeah.
They're very Eric is very just so rock and blues based, and maybe not as much of a jazz influence, I'd say.
Yeah, I probably will edit this one. Anyways, so yeah. Anything else you want to harp on for Eric/Rob of Stone Temple Pilots?
Oh, I think I'm good. One of my absolute favorites, man.
Yeah, some of the greatest. So yeah, the next group that we're going to be talking about is Matt Cameron and Ben Shepherd of Soundgarden. I feel like we talked a little bit on this last episode just because we did the Super Unknown anniversary, which awesome. Happy anniversary to Super Unknown once again. Great album. But Ben Shepherd and Matt Cameron of Soundgarden, just experimental powerhouses, I'd say. Yeah, just the way that they're able to layer themselves behind what Chris and Kim are doing, and then obviously behind Chris's voice, just brings so much power and just metallic feel to what Soundgarden's sound was in the 90s. Ben Shepherd's bass tone is just so punchy.
I was going to say that.
Oh, just a raw bass tone, basically. And, of course, he's playing it down at his ankles, which I don't know if that affects anything, but it might. I don't know. And then you got Matt Cameron switching up and going to the different time signatures and coming up with so many different rhythms. I mean, you look at his – just talk about Matt Cameron for a second. Like, through his discography with Temple of the Dog, Soundgarden, Pearl Jam, and I'm sure he's been in other stuff too. He's just so creative behind the kit. I was listening to Reach Down the other day off the Temple of the Dog album, and the work that he's doing on the ride on that song is so intricate. There's so much going on, and yeah, he provides so much of just that foundation that's so necessary for Soundgarden because their music is so much based in the music itself, because it's such an experimental aspect of music. He just is so phenomenal as a drummer.
Yeah, we always find our way really back in Matt Cameron.
Yeah.
I like it. But one thing that always stuck out to me, I always loved the drum part on Hunger Strike.
Oh, yeah.
Behind the ending part where I Don't Mind Stealing Bread, and they're kind of like rocking that part. He's doing like a...
His use of China as well is very, very creative. I don't know what symbols he uses or China symbols or whatever, but I just feel like they're so well placed and fit the song so well. Just works so well with Matt Cameron. Ben Shepherd, though, you're more of a bass player, so you could kind of harp on this a little bit.
Yeah, there's so many standout Ben Shepherd tracks, but the one that always stands out to me, I always love talking about, is "Burden in My Hand," off of Down on the Upside.
Yep.
Yeah, First of all, I think it was recorded on the first take, and
Awesome.
he is moving around. People debate on what tuning it's in because they have no idea, but he just plays a lot of notes underneath the verse, which is weird. Or I think it might be the chorus.
Mm-hmm.
But like he's very high up on the fretboard, and just doing like something so unique for that song, but it works perfectly. It's almost kind of like a counterpoint to the guitar work in it.
Oh yeah, the guitar work in that one is so awesome.
Because they're staying steady most of the time, but he's kind of throwing
gliding
some
around.
odd time. Yes, yeah, kind of squirming around their part.
Speaking of Burning in My Hand, there's such a great Matt Cameron fill on that song as well.
I
know it's one of your favorites.
Yeah, like I don't even know what it would be. Not a 16th note roll. I don't know what it is.
It is a roll though, just on the snare. But it fills in so well throughout the whole rest of the song. Yeah.
I think it's a triplet. Probably like a 16th note triplet. Yeah, that's one of my favorite. I love snare.
Just snare rolls just sounds so good. Yeah.
Just like in Surrender by Cheap Trick, you know?
Oh man.
I love those kind of fills.
What a great song. Love Surrender. Skate on the original Skate.
Skate, EA Sports.
EA Sports Skate on the Xbox 360 if you guys ever played it.
Great game.
Great
Shout
game.
out.
Shout out. I think there was actually some... Dude, we got to talk about video game soundtracks that have, like, grunge songs in them. Like, the best video game soundtracks. Because the Bigs has, like, Plush, Nearly Lost You. They have some... I think they have Tool on there.
We never knew.
Yeah, I know. It's so crazy. They have Primus on there.
The one I always remembered was Coming Undone by Korn.
Oh, yeah.
And Boom by PoD.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I remember those ones.
Hoocha!
Man, there's so many... What's the motocross game?
MX versus ATV.
Yes, that has some good ones on it too. Doesn't it have Jerry as a race car driver on it?
Yes, yeah,
it does. Damn. Okay, all right. Off topic a little bit. It's all right. ADHD. That's what it does to you. Anyways, so Ben Shepherd and Matt Cameron. Matt Cameron just obviously creative genius, I'd say. Behind the drum kit, he's really able to do anything. He can drum in so many different styles as well. He can drum quiet, drum loud, very loud. And I feel like a lot of his stuff, especially, since he's been in music for so long, it just holds up so well to everything that he's put out. So, yeah. I wish Soundgarden would have had an unplugged, though. I would have loved to see Matt Cameron drum an unplugged session.
I'd like to see what Ben Shepherd would have done.
Yeah, exactly. That would have been... Man, why no Soundgarden unplugged? Ugh! It's awful. It's awful.
I think they maybe thought that just maybe their stuff wouldn't translate.
Yeah. But, I mean, Chris Cornell did a lot of unplugged stuff of their songs. Like acoustic stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Like Fell on Black Days.
Maybe just, maybe it just never happened.
It's annoying. Okay.
Ooh.
All right.
But yeah, Ben Shepherd, Matt Cameron, another one of our favorite pairings.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's always so hard when you're on the spot to think of every examples of songs.
Yeah.
But just to talk about them a little bit, they're just awesome.
Just some of our favorites. Yeah. So I didn't tell Colby the next one. I let him know some of the ones that we were going to do before this. So I didn't let him know the next one because I just kind of thought about it. But the next rhythm section that we're going to be taking a look at, Mr. Flea and Chad Smith of the Red Hot Chili Peppers.
This is a good one.
This is a great one.
It's a really good one.
Great one because rhythmically they are as connected as you can be for musicians. Like, they've been playing together for how long?
Like 40 years almost.
Yeah.
Well, I think Flea was in the band at the start.
Yeah.
And so was Chad. And I think they formed in '84.
Yeah. So 40 years this year.
40 years.
This year. 40 years this year. So that's I I'd say you're probably pretty rhythmically together at that point if you.
And the thing is, that is their strong suit is rhythm.
Oh yeah,
Red Hot Chili Peppers in general is their strong suit is rhythm.
Their strong suit is definitely the music. That is their strong suit. And listen, Chad Smith, I feel like gets a lot of hate for no reason. I don't know why. I feel like it's because people think he does like the same beat a lot of the time.
Yeah, that's always kind of there's always like a big opposition between like technical prowess and just being perfect for songs.
Yeah.
Like Chad, yeah, definitely he isn't Neil Peart.
No. No.
One of his
Neil Peart.
idols.
Yeah, exactly.
Of course. But like the thing, he does his thing so well and can do a multiple amount of styles too.
Yeah. Exactly.
He's a great drummer in general.
Yeah, I mean,
and can make any song he plays on better.
That's
what makes a good drummer.
That one recent Drumeo video of him
doing 30
the
Seconds
kill.
to Mars.
Yeah, doing the kill. Making up his own, and it honestly sounds almost like the original. Like, just such a multifaceted, talented drummer.
Like he picked up, it was in 3/4, and then just picked up his sticks and went going
instantly. And not even to mention, he has one of the most iconic snare sounds. Easily.
That's just because he hits.
He
hits
just
so
the way
hard.
The way he hits it is just so iconic. And I mean, the snare on Californication, I think is the one that people think is the most well known. And I mean, yeah, what else can you say? It's just Chad Smith knows how to play for the song perfectly.
This is a phenomenal pick.
Yeah,
because I love talking about these two.
Now I'll let you talk about his counterpart, Flea.
Oh, okay. I thought you were going to talk about a specific song, but
because Flea is just a different animal when it comes to bass.
Slap pop,
everything.
Yeah, Flea, as pretty much everybody knows, is really just such a great bassist.
Yeah,
he can do his like melodic stuff, but then he can also funk it up and play some slap stuff.
Hell out of it. He can funk the hell out of it.
Yeah, he does a lot of like tapping with his thumb. Mm-hmm. He doesn't really like I forget what there is a difference between like he kind of just like hits the string and pops, but then some like flick it from under.
Okay.
For like the low strings. But there's so many iconic Flea parts around the world. Californication.
Don't Forget Me.
Don't Forget Me. That's one of my favorites.
That's one of Colby's favorites. That one is so great.
Like Wet Sand. It's just I think his melodic playing is very overlooked.
Yeah.
He's got some great melodic parts over.
I feel like his melodic playing is overlooked by what a lot of people think is overplaying. You know what I mean?
Yeah, possibly.
Because I feel like a lot of people think that Flea overplays. But that's the thing with the Chili Peppers music is that it's over the top. The Chili Peppers are over the top. I mean, we saw them live, and that experience is just over the top once again. Their music is meant to be, it just reaches a certain aspect that their playing fits so well. And I mean the way that they've been consistently doing it and still putting out new music. Hell, even their
Black Summer.
Yeah, Black Summer, or that was the name of the song, wasn't it?
Yeah, I forget what.
Unlimited Love. That was honestly a pretty good album, and I haven't really listened to the newer one that they put out, but they're still doing it. Still going strong at what? I think Chad just turned 60.
Chad is over 60 now.
He's 60.
So is Anthony.
And Flea's probably almost 60, I'd say.
Michael Balsry,
almost 60. But yeah, just some of the most out there bass lines. And Chad just keeps a groove so well, especially with Flea behind him.
I mean, like, look, this is a little off topic, but how well does Chad follow both, especially when they're doing jam sessions? How does he follow John and?
Oh yeah, it's so beautiful.
John and Flea.
like when we were there watching it, it's literally like you're just quiet because it's art in the making.
There is nothing better than a Frusciante.
A Flea jam. There's nothing. Dude, as soon as they started doing the Californication jam, I was just like, oh shit, here it is, here it is, here it is.
And then his pedal board failed.
Yeah, his pedal board failed on him.
That was a big thing, I
That
think,
was a big thing. I
guess.
saw a bunch of videos on that after, like, we got home from the concert. Like, the next day, I was like, I think I might have, like, I think it was on one of the guitar rig rundown videos. And, yeah, his pedal board was, like, messing up on him. So, kept cutting in and out. Oh, it was so...
Yeah, it was right in the middle of it.
Yeah, right in the middle of, like, the climax part of it. Man. But, yeah, I feel like they just know how to build up a song so well together as well. Especially, like, Under the Bridge. Didn't even talk about that. That one builds up for so long, and that final release at the end is just phenomenal. So, yeah. Chad Smith and Flea as, what was that, our third pick? Do you just want to do 4? You just want to do 4 picks?
Only 4?
Yeah, because then we can do another part if you want. You can do a...
Okay, well, yeah, this was an interesting 3 picks, though.
Yeah. So you can choose...
Oh, I don't.
Since I...
No, I'd like you to pick them all.
All right.
I'm fine with that.
Get my phone out so I can go a little off
I'm
the
cool
cuff
with
here.
that.
All right. So, we're going to end it with another not grunge. We're going to go with Darcy Retzky and Jimmy Chamberlain as our last pick for Rhythm Section. Some of our favorite rhythm sections. This one, I feel like Jimmy Chamberlain all the way.
Jimmy Chamberlain all the way?
Dude, Jimmy Chamberlain is a monster. Just an absolute monster. I mean, Darcy adds a lot to the music, especially Cherub Rock. Her part on there is pretty cool. And a lot of their more mellow stuff. I feel like she's a very mellow, melodic player as compared to a lot of their more heavy driving stuff, like fast-paced stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think Darcy always just plays what's necessary for the song.
Yeah, no overplaying.
Doesn't overplay at all.
Mm-hmm.
Just plays her parts for it and pushes the song along.
And then usually Billy comes back and re-records it. But it happened. Can't deny it. It did happen.
Controversy on the PoG.
Controversy on the PoG. Sorry.
Yeah, but Jimmy Chamberlain.
Yeah,
well, he was a jazz drummer.
The Jimmy Chamberlain complex, man. Come on.
And is one of the best, even technical drummers and just drummers of the 90s.
Oh yeah, easily. And I mean, he still has his side project, the Jimmy Chamberlain complex. Which,
yeah, if Butch Vig is harping on how good Jimmy Chamberlain is, that's how you know.
Which
Jimmy
Butch
Chamberlain
Vig is a good drummer.
He's
in
a good
himself.
drummer.
Yes, for Garbage, right? Yeah,
yes.
For Garbage, and Jimmy Chamberlain. Just the way that, because a lot of the Smashing Pumpkins music relies on that slow build up and then that just massive release at the climax, and he just knows how to bring that up so well with so many little just intricate details that he puts in there throughout the entire song, whether it's him working on the ride or using just so many different types of cymbals to create effects. Just perfectly encapsulates the essence of the Smashing Pumpkins with his drum playing. Yeah. Like, what? I'm trying to think of a crazy Jimmy Chamberlain part. I can't think of it right now. No, just...
No.
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 Yes,
No.
Jimmy Chamberlain is
phenomenal.
An awesome drummer.
Smashing Pumpkins poster right there. It's kind of weird to see him with long hair. I don't know why. It's kind of weird to see all of...
He rocked long hair most of the time, I think.
I think he did, actually.
Maybe late 90s, like around Melancholy era, he did.
Yeah.
He did Shake or Take It Down. But
Oh, dude, Melancholy. Talk about Jelly Belly. His drumming on that song. His drumming on that song. Just, I don't know, just a lot of the grooves he's able to come up with, since he's so jazz influenced, just have such a great melodic rhythm to them. And the way that he just glides so easily across the kit.
Yes, that's one thing he's great at. But the one thing I always notice this, great drummers are very stoic in their stance.
Yeah.
Jimmy Chamberlain is always upright, over top of his thing. Neil Peart was on top. John Bonham was on top.
Yep.
Chad Smith is very on top of his, kind of most of the time they play low.
The straight up posture, keeping their hands at the side. It's the classical training.
It's just like they're commanding over their drum set.
Yeah.
It's like it's not up around them. They're,
and I mean, because they use, well, not Chad, but Jimmy and Neil Peart use big kits. I think Jimmy has a pretty big kit from what we saw.
I think so.
Yeah, he just, like you said, just commands power, I guess, over the drum set. And yeah, like
that's an important thing. You have.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
You have to.
And because a lot of that strength in hitting the drums comes from the core most of the time, because you're gotta have a strong.
You're like
back.
shimmying around,
shimmying around and twisting around a lot, and when you got to keep that strength throughout the entire thing, especially when you're gliding across the kit like he does. So, and then just his wrists. The flexibility in the wrists. There's another thing that's so important for drummers, and he just has that perfectly, just because he plays and commands that, wrists at the side, arms at the side most of the time. I mean, he loosens up here and there, obviously.
Of course, he has some ghost note stuff.
Obviously, but he just, like you said, commands such a presence.
That's an important thing. Sometimes I just always notice a lot of really great drummers have good posture.
Yeah.
Just back to like the fundamentals of drumming. Almost all of them on this list have great posture.
Yeah. Yeah. A lot of them are I think a lot of the drummers that we talked about today are pretty like closed drummers.
Yeah. Jimmy can be open.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Matt Cameron is open too.
Yeah.
But I get what you mean. They all can do closed drumming.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Eric and Chad are more closed, I feel like.
Definitely. Yeah. Chad is definitely closed.
Yeah.
If you don't know what closed drumming is, open drumming is just when you mostly don't play with your right over your left hand.
Yeah.
And closed drumming is when you have your right over your left hand, kind of like doing the hi-hat with your right and a snare with your left.
Yeah.
But open drumming, it's a different style. It just gives you a completely different sound.
Yeah, it gives you a completely different range of things that you can do on the kit as well, just because it frees up, since you're using your right to hit the snare and your left to hit the hi-hat, it really frees up everything. Yeah.
Allows you to flow
much
easier. And instead of having to come across your body, you're already there.
I feel like in some aspects it is so much harder, because you got to train. You have to have that left hand just independence. Have to have that left hand independence, because I mean, if it's hitting the hi-hat, so that's what's keeping your time.
And that's all drumming is independence.
Yeah, that's why it could be, because I mean, you gotta use 4 separate things at once, basically, not just hands. So I feel like drummers need more credit, man. Shout out the rhythm sections. Rhythm sections need more credit. Shout out all my bassists out there, and shout out all my drummers out there. For real.
Absolutely. We need more of you in this world.
We need more of you in this world. Shout out to all the bassists and all the drummers out there.
I completely agree.
Absolutely.
But, we good?
Yeah, I think we're good. I think we can call it. Call it a day. Short little, 30...
That's 37.
35. Probably 35.
37.
Well, from the beginning part, too, we got to cut out a little.
Yeah.
Anyways, guys, we really appreciate you watching this episode. If you liked the episode, make sure to comment, like, and subscribe to the Puddle of Grunge podcast. Everyone, I'm Ryan.
I'm Colby.
We appreciate you. Thanks for watching. Have a good one.